Hello everybody, Andy here. How are ya? Good to see ya. So, have you decided to start a small business? Or have you recently started one? Would you like that small business to have the greatest chance possible to succeed and not nosedive into the earth with all your hopes and dreams on board? If yes, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm gonna talk about 10 things. That's how many fingers we have. In this video, I'm gonna talk about 10 things you should never do when starting a small business or side hustle. So why listen to me? You know, this guy. Well, I have been running my own small businesses since I was in junior high. My current small business is about 10 years old and still doing just fine, no thanks to the pandemic. So I've seen my share of success, but also failure. So I feel like I might have some insights that would be helpful to you. Now, every video like this tends to start the same way. They say 90% of all startups fail within their first year. And that sounds scary. And that statistic is true, but that's for startups. I have a feeling if you're watching this video, you're not going the startup route, you're going the small business route. So what is the difference? Well, going the startup route, you're likely gonna be looking for aggressive growth and scaling. You're gonna be looking for investments. You're likely gonna have the intention of becoming a large business and the goal of being acquired. And probably the biggest difference between the two is that startups have no problem running for long stretches of time with zero profit. Whereas on the other hand, small businesses, they wanna be profitable as soon as possible. And then as they become profitable, growth happens naturally. And that growth can sometimes look like hiring people, but usually small businesses start with just a few people. They start small and gradually get bigger as needed. So likely you fall into the small business category, and there is good news for you. 80% of the small businesses started last year survived. Only a 20% failure rate first year. Now looking historically at the trends of small businesses, by the 5th year, 50% of them will fail. Now that is not as dire as the 90% startup failure rate. It's still a significant amount. So with that in mind, here are 10 things you should never do when starting a small business to increase your chances of success. What are my hands doing? What do I do with my hands? First one is business operation side versus the customer facing side. Never put too much of your focus on the business operation side of your business. Instead, focus on the customer facing side. So what is the customer facing side of the business? Well, it is just that. It's customers, potential customers, the marketing, all that stuff. And it primarily comes down to two things. One, potential customers, finding people out there and turning them into customers and clients of your business. And the second part is your existing customers. So this is maintaining them, and as Warren Buffett would say, constantly delighting them. This is also getting new referrals out of them and upselling them and getting future and reoccurring business from them. And the business operations side is how you make it all work. It's the systems and processes that power your business. And this part, I believe at first, really does not matter. The number one way you are going to make it and survive as a new business isn't going to be your systems and processes. It's going to be finding customers, getting people to pay you to buy your services and your products. If you can sell your services and products to people and you can make money, you can then, as you grow, gradually build up all those systems and processes in the back end to make everything else work smoothly. The front end, the customer facing end, fuels the growth and refinement and efficiency of the back end, the business operations side of things. I'm really a believer in the quick and dirty approach. Just go out there and get business and worry about the other stuff later. So if that means you have an online store selling products and you can't quite wrap your head around the whole automated system of fulfillment, don't worry about it. Manually do all the in-between steps as long as you're getting people paying you money. Then as you make money, you can hire people or you can spend more time on refining those systems and things. So I think at least at first you should dedicate most, like 80 to 90% of your time just on the customer facing side of things, and then worry about the business operation side of things later. The second thing is to never ignore customer service. If you can just show up on time, respond to emails within 24 hours, send out quotes and invoices and estimates very quickly, and just generally not flake on people, you will already just stand out among the masses of competition around you. It's amazing how many small businesses don't do these things well. And if you can just do what you told the customer you're gonna do, and you can do it quickly, efficiently, and just as promised, you will stand out among everybody else, I promise. It's really not rocket science. Just say what you're going to do and do it. Also, don't make the mistake of ignoring that like button. Help me out in the algorithm, go down there, click the like button. I really appreciate it. Give me a nudge, come on, come on. The third thing is don't wait to be perfect. It can be so tempting when starting a business to plan everything out to a T. You don't wanna miss anything. You wanna make sure everything has a plan, has a purpose, is ready to go. You've thought about all the angles and you're prepared. However, it's a slippery slope and you will soon find yourself planning for every little thing, preparing and creating stuff and doing all these different things. And the one thing you won't find yourself doing is starting your business. You think to yourself, if you don't have everything figured out and you don't have everything right, then you will fail. And this is false. The way you will fail at this step is by just continuing and continuing to prepare, but never actually starting. So my advice isn't to not prepare at all, but my advice is do not wait on being perfect. Give yourself a time limit or something like that, and then just start. I promise you'll be so happy that you just started instead of sitting around planning every little thing, because that might end up making you never start to begin with. So number 4 is don't get caught up in busy work. Just say no to busy work. So what is busy work? Well, it's anything your little brain comes up with to keep you busy, but doesn't actually matter in the long run. And if not the long run, at least the immediate. This is things like making business cards, setting up your office, getting all the little supplies and things you might need. It could even be getting a website. These are all things that you might need at some point, but you probably don't need right away. And when you're doing these things, when you're getting these things done, it feels like work and it feels like you're doing something productive, but all you're doing is delaying getting actual clients and starting your business. There's so many times where you will wait until you have your logo figured out and you got your website perfect and you got your business card. It just, all that stuff takes unbelievable amounts of time. And that is just delaying you starting the thing you really want to start in the first place. So my challenge on this one is just ask yourself, do I really need that thing? Like, do I really need a website to get started? If you're starting a lawn company, you probably don't. You probably just need some photos of a lawn that looks nice and you can post those on Facebook or wherever. You probably don't even need a website if you're starting a photo or video business. You just need a place to host a couple samples of your work that you can then send to get your foot in the door with some new clients. Now, I'm not gonna say you never need a website at the beginning or you never need business cards or office space. There are some things you're going to start that need these things right away. I'm just saying you should ask yourself, do I need these things? And if the answer is I don't need it right away, or I can get away with not having it right at the beginning, then don't. Just start doing the thing you wanna do. Number 5 is to not go crazy buying things that you probably don't need. Work with what you've got. Now this one is very similar to the previous one, but it's more specifically about physical things you buy or think you need to start your business. Like if your business idea was starting a YouTube channel, for example, you might think, oh, I've got to buy a nice camera, I've got to buy fancy lights and fancy microphone and all that stuff. You're just giving yourself this wish list of very expensive things when you haven't even made a single cent with your business yet. So I would encourage you to actually make a list of the things you think you need and then write out which of those you can actually get away with not having, and see what things you already have that could be good enough for now. Can you, instead of buying the fancy camera, can you just use your cell phone? Can you record your videos near a window instead of buying the fancy light? Can you buy the $20 lavalier microphone instead of the $250 shotgun microphone? You would be very surprised with what the minimum operating expenses you can get away with are. And I really believe that limitation, even if it's artificial limitation, inspires creativity and growth. When you have limited resources, you have to rack your brain with creative ideas for how you can do the thing you want to do with those resources. And usually great stuff happens. So do your best to utilize existing assets first and then upgrade when either you're making enough money to do so or when the time is right. Number 6, don't think that working for free is worthless. Unless your small business or side hustle idea is something that's an existing hobby where you have examples of work, you might not already have a portfolio, might not already have testimonials, might not already have samples of work you're going to be doing. So you should consider working for free. Working for free at the beginning can be super powerful. Now, I don't mean like For a long period of time, I just mean the first few jobs maybe, just enough to supplement and build the portfolio or samples to show other people so that you can get new clients based off that free work. And when you're doing this work for free, under promise and way over deliver. Even though this person might not be paying you, I've had such positive results with that person then referring me to a whole bunch of other people who became paying clients. The person you're doing the work for gets something out of this, where they're getting work at no cost, and you're getting something out of it, which is the experience and samples and hopefully referrals and testimonials from that person. It's a win-win. Number 7, not having contracts, invoices, agreements. Now I know my first point was to not spend much time on the business operations side, the processes and systems that run the business, but this is one of the few things I think you should spend time on right at the get-go. For your own safety, security, and protection, I highly recommend you have at least a very basic contract or agreement that you're going to be sending to clients. Doing this protects you and your business, but it also protects the clients. It spells out in black and white text exactly what you're offering, what the terms are, when you're going to deliver it, how much it costs. It makes it all extremely plain and easy for both parties to understand. And then you sign it, agree to it, and now you have a rubric for how you're going to conduct business with this person. Having contracts and agreements and invoices helps you out so much, especially if anything goes wrong, because it gives you a paper trail of everything you agreed upon. Now, while I am suggesting you do this step, I still think you can go fast and cheap on this one. Go out there and get a template, get whatever the minimum is for a contract, agreement, invoice, customize it just a little bit so it looks like your stuff, and then start using it. Then in the not too distant future, when you're making money, you can hire a professional, an attorney, to write up an agreement or contract that is specific to you and your business and the types of services and products that you sell. But right at the beginning, just get something. Don't operate without these things. Number 8 is not having a business plan. Now, this is something you do not need right away, but you will need it eventually. At the very beginning, it can be as simple as what your idea is, what you're going to be selling, and who you're going to be trying to sell it to. Don't let this step slow you down. Just run with your idea, try to get clients, try to make money, and then you can refine this as you go. But even doing this at the very minimum at the beginning and then adding to it as you go along helps you refine your business's purpose, helps you refine who you're marketing to. It can be incredibly helpful for you to have clear thoughts about your business and your business's direction. So again, at the beginning, I recommend just doing the absolute minimum on this one, but still doing it. And that is, what is your business's purpose? Who is your ideal client? And what are the product and or services that you're trying to sell? And then as you start to make money, refine this, add to it, go with a much more comprehensive business plan. Just let it grow naturally, but don't skip this step. Number 9, never go it alone. Starting a small business is not easy. It can be overwhelming and stressful. It takes a lot of your time and just sucks some of the life force out of you. And it can sometimes feel like it's you versus the world, but it really doesn't have to be this way. Try to find a community of people. Online, there are a million different resources where you can find people who are into the same business idea as you, or into entrepreneurship and small business in general. Plug yourself into these resources. Plug yourself into these online communities. There's probably even local groups and communities to plug into. It's absolutely invaluable to have a community of people who are into the same things as you when it comes to running a small business, because you can bounce ideas around, you can get support, you can throw ideas out there, and hopefully in doing so, you will make some friends and closer relationships and connections of people who are like-minded and can help you out in the future. Beyond that, never doing it alone, I also mean that when the time is right, or when you're so overwhelmed but business is coming in, when you're making money, hire someone. This can be as simple as outsourcing stuff online or actually hiring an actual employee. But the temptation is, as a small business owner, you want to do everything yourself. And at first that makes a lot of sense, but at some point you might find yourself outgrowing that. And if that happens, you should recognize it, embrace change, and get help. And the last one, number 10, is never be failure conscious. This is an idea I'm stealing from the book Think and Grow Rich. But to be failure conscious means you're solely thinking about what could go wrong. You believe in your head somewhere in there that you're going to fail, that you're not going to make it. So I really recommend instead you try to be success conscious, meaning that you really do believe in your head, however you need to get there, that you're going to succeed. And as you really believe that in your head, it's more likely to happen. It's not guaranteed to happen. I don't really believe you can think something and it manifests itself in reality. But I think if you're always thinking about the failure is more likely to happen. Whereas if you're focused on the success and you have a clear vision for what that success looks like and what the success of your business looks like, that is much more likely going to happen because you're going to be working towards that goal. It's going to be something you can see it in your mind, that you try your best to really believe in your head that the thing you're going to be doing, your new venture, is going to be successful. Because I really think in convincing yourself of that, you will have a much higher chance of success. Mistakes and failures are opportunities. You either dwell on them and think, woe is me, or you take them as lessons, learn from them, and grow and make yourself and your business better. Now, this list is not exhaustive. I haven't covered everything. So if you have advice or you have mistakes that you've learned from, please share them below to help out other people who are trying to take the same journey as you. If you enjoyed this video, got something out of it, liked watching it, please subscribe. I'd love to have you around. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. See you later.